What's up guys, it's Kara here and I wanted to do another video answering one of your questions that was sent to me at my Gmail account. So this question is regarding weight gain with cutting. So this question says, I was wondering if you had any videos that dealt with weight gain when cutting. What is going on and how to not lose your mind while working through it. I hear you, girl. I am supposed to be prepping for my first show in 12 weeks, 43, and have been losing slowly, but over 30 pounds in the last 10 months, which is excellent. Congrats. My weight started going up a week ago. We did a small macro cut and it is up another 2 pounds. I am only down to 150 carbs, 40 fat, 140 protein. I'm 5'5", 130 pounds. Not doing crazy cardio, but did switch from miss to hit a few weeks ago. Weights aren't super heavy, so trying a deload week in the gym. People talk about crazy things like adrenal fatigue and all that, though I think that term gets thrown around a bit too much, and recent blood work showed to be fine. So for this email, I do agree with you. I think adrenal fatigue does get thrown around rather quickly, and based on what you've told me in this email, I mean, I don't really know what would be fatiguing your adrenals at this point because I don't know what supplements and other stimulants and things you're taking. My mind would not go to adrenal fatigue. But in general, with weight loss, with cutting and weight gain, it certainly can happen. Couple questions we have to ask. It's hard for me to always know exactly what's going on, so my answers are somewhat general. But with weight gain, so when you step on the scale and you see that number, you have to remember that number is not scientific. That number is not a reflection necessarily of what you're doing at that moment in time. Reason being is that number is so responsive to so many other factors going on. So for instance, you had a macro cut, but your weight's up a little bit. How were your meals planned throughout the day? Did you eat most of your meals in the morning, or were you all of a sudden eating your meals later at night? With a macro cut, sometimes people save their food at the end of the day. They're a macro hoarder, if you will, and then have a larger meal at the end of the night because that's when people struggle. Well, if all of a sudden that's something you change, that certainly could reflect in the number on the scale. If you notice, if you front load your meals and eat more and kind of have a longer fasting period before you step on the scale, your weight is going to be lower because you've fasted for a longer period of time. So I would ask you that. How are you planning out your meals throughout the day? Did anything change there? My other question would be too, with the macro cut, what are you doing differently in terms of what foods you're choosing or when you're eating them? That can all play into it. If people get their macros cut, and sometimes instead of choosing the more voluminous food, sometimes people choose things that they crave and make it fit their macros. Could that make a difference? Hard to say. Maybe you are choosing more voluminous foods because your macros got cut and you want to feel full throughout the day. So maybe you've increased your fiber a bit by having a macro cut. That very well could add a couple pounds to your weight on the scale. Anytime you're eating stuff that's got that extra bulk and fiber to it, if you haven't gone to the bathroom and gotten rid of everything, certainly can add a couple pounds. So that's the next thing. What's your bowel regularity looking like? Have you gone to the bathroom regularly? Are you going every day? Are you going once every 3 days? Or are you having some issues in that department? Because constipation is real, folks, especially with dieting, and that can fuck you up with how you feel because you feel bloated, you feel distended and in pain, and then the scale reflects a higher number. So that could be part of it too. In terms of your workouts, you said weights aren't super heavy. So I mean, it sounds like maybe that's somewhere that you do maybe need to focus a bit more on the intensity of your weights. Maybe that will help. Something I've done in the past when I'm trying to cut and my weight is just kind of I cut and my weight does go up and down 2 pounds, like no joke. This is not an unnormal situation. So don't stress too much about it. This is not uncommon. But one thing you can do, I've implemented sometimes when I'm doing my lift sessions, just to get in an extra little burst of cardio, get my heart rate up there. I like to sweat when I'm lifting, and if I'm not, I bump up the intensity with my lifts. And how I do that is either by not taking as long of breaks in between my sets, or I also sometimes add in some cardio in between, whether it's getting on the ground and doing some plyometrics, maybe doing some jump squats, maybe just even doing body weight squats, hopping on a treadmill and sprinting for 40 seconds, then going back to your set. Those are all things that can help maximize your time in the gym if you're pressed for time, but also really give you an extra great workout because you're getting your heart rate up there. And that's just gonna help you burn fat quicker. So that your workouts might be something to assess. Your body's gonna adapt as you're changing macros, as you're cutting macros. It doesn't always work so cohesively where you cut and you lose weight every single day. It doesn't work like that. So it does screw with your mind a bit. You just have to know, the best advice I can give you in terms of not losing your mind while going through this is, if you know you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, if you can look me in the eye right now and say, you know, you have followed every macro to a T, you've done every workout pushing to your full capacity, and you're doing everything you need, then don't worry about it. Keep pushing forward, stay consistent, the results will come. It's when people get so discouraged by this process that they tend to, I've noticed quite a bit with working with people, as soon as you get discouraged, you tend to fall off plan, right? You get discouraged that you're not seeing the results, and then you somehow fuck it up by like diving into a jar of peanut butter or going out for pizza or skipping your workouts because you're just not mentally, you're pissed off and you're not in it. So that's the worst thing you can do at this point in time. Know that you are giving 100% and the results should come. So don't be so concerned about the 2 pounds. 2 pounds is fluctuations. You don't gain 2 pounds of fat overnight. Your body, especially being a female, for those females, and it's same with males, but especially with females, depending on what time of the month you are in terms of your menstruation cycle, is going to certainly impact things with how much water you retain. And one more thought I just had too, got all kinds of thoughts, but your sodium intake. Has your sodium changed at all? Unless I'm really close to competition prep, I don't really focus too much on my sodium, but if you're consuming high sodium and not drinking enough fluids, you're gonna retain. The scale is gonna reflect that and your weight's gonna go up. So have there been any differences with the choices of foods that you're eating? Maybe macro-wise, you on point, but if your sodium is through the roof because you're housing down deli meats and tuna fish and hot sauce, your weight may be up. And maybe macros are cool, they're good to go, but that sodium is gonna bloat you and the scale is gonna reflect that. So again, in summary, the scale is a mind fuck. If you know you're doing everything you need to do, then it's cool. Keep pushing forward and you will get the results you need. But if you feel like, ooh, maybe I could be doing more with my workouts. Maybe I'm not totally tracking every extra bite of ice cream I take at night. Then just know that and tighten things up a bit. And then results will come with that consistency. So hope you found this answer helpful. Please share this video with others who may also find this information helpful. It really helps me out as I'm trying to build this channel. I really appreciate it. So please give that little like button a like. Send me any emails you guys would like, and I will keep doing more of these videos if you find them helpful.